Good evening, I'm Sarah, and this is News Xstreem. We begin tonight with a rough end to the week on Wall Street. U.S. markets have just endured their worst two-day tumble in years, as fears of a global trade war with China escalate sharply. Here's what you need to know. The Dow Jones Industrial Average plunged 2,231 points on Friday, a drop of 5.5%, marking its steepest one-day loss since the height of the pandemic in June 2020. This comes on the heels of a 1,679-point drop on Thursday. For the first time ever, the Dow has lost more than 1,500 points on 2 consecutive days. The S&P 500 also took a beating, falling nearly 6% on Friday and now sitting over 17% below its recent peak. And the Nasdaq Composite, heavy with tech stocks linked to China, has officially entered bear market territory, dropping over 22% from its December high after back-to-back losses of nearly 6%. Investors were rattled after China struck back in the ongoing tariff standoff, announcing a 34% levy on all U.S. products, a move that many hoped would be avoided through negotiation. Instead, Beijing's aggressive response fueled fears of a deepening trade war. Technology stocks were hit hardest. Apple dropped 7% Friday and is down 13% on the week. Nvidia, a major player in AI, also fell 7%. Tesla tumbled a staggering 10%. All 3 companies have strong exposure to the Chinese market and are now directly impacted by China's new tariffs. Outside tech, major exporters like Boeing and Caterpillar also sank, down 9% and nearly 6% respectively, dragging the Dow deeper into the red. In an ominous statement, Emily Bowersock-Hill, CEO of Bowersock Capital Partners, said, "The bull market is dead, and it was destroyed by ideologues and self-inflicted wounds. We're worried about the long-term economic damage a global trade war could bring." China didn't stop at tariffs. It added several U.S. firms to its unreliable entities list, penalizing those it claims violated market rules. Among the targets, DuPont, which saw its shares sink 13% after China opened an antitrust investigation into the company. As investors scrambled for safety, money flooded into Treasury bonds, sending the 10-year yield below 4%, and the CBOE Volatility Index, Wall Street's fear barometer, soared above 40, a level rarely seen outside of full-blown financial panics. Despite the chaos, former President Donald Trump remained firm, taking to Truth Social Friday to say his policies will never change. Analysts are now deeply concerned that the trade war could spiral further. Jay Woods, chief global strategist at Freedom Capital Markets, said, "The fear going into the weekend is that neither side backs down and the escalation continues." By the end of the week, the S&P 500 had dropped 9%, marking its worst week since the outbreak of COVID-19 in early 2020. We'll continue tracking the fallout, the global economic outlook, and how investors and everyday Americans should prepare if this downturn continues. For News Xstreem, I'm Sarah. Stay strong and stay informed.